Hi guys and welcome to Gary Reviews and to this review of Vikings Season 6 Part A. As you know, I'm a big Vikings fan and this season is the last season and we just finished with the first part of it, Part A. So what do I think about it? Well, if you watch my previous review that was, from that Lagarta episode, I am not that pleased. I mean, guys, this season and all of the Viking seasons do take some time to reconsider and think about them in general because there's so much to unpack here. But Michael Hurst, as a creator of the show from day one, he is very, very weird in the way that he portrays the character, how he decides to tell the story and just present everything. It's just nuts, okay? There's so many elements that are just crazy. They're not very clear and you keep like wondering what the heck and what in the name is going on. Okay, but let me start from the most important parts of it because I'm not going to tell you the whole season this far. I'm just gonna focus on some particular things that stood out to me. First of all, this whole first part is pretty interesting. In the same way, if I compare it to the previous seasons, it's not that good at all. It's just a bit weak and I don't feel that I'm satisfied with what is happening with the characters that I love. And speaking of the characters that I love, the first characters that are from the original start of the show, like Lagarta and Bjorn, I just don't know how I feel about what the heck happened with them. And this is going to be a spoiler section. So if you watch the show, you know that Lagarta is now dead. And although Catherine Winnick, as far as I heard, she's pleased how the character ended up. I understand that they didn't want to kill her earlier in the show because everybody loved Lagarta. And then they were not sure if they're ever going to kill her, but eventually they did. I'm just not sure on how to feel about this. I already, made a video about it. I was not happy initially. I'm still not happy. And it was very touching episode, and I cried actually about that. It was so sad and just heartbreaking and emotional. But I'm not sure if that's the way to go because she was killed so quickly and she was basically reduced to a weaker character in the last two seasons, especially since she was wounded and her hair got white all of a sudden. She was portrayed to be young up to this point and all of a sudden she's old. So there's so many confusing stuff, they started to apply this ridiculous makeup onto Kaepernick's face so she can appear older, even wrinkles on her neck and eyes. It looked ridiculous because Catherine Winnick in real life, she looks like 25 still. So for me it was so like I just can't buy it. I mean, she does play it perfectly, but I just can't buy it. That's another topic on its own. The point is, guys, that I always felt like Larda is just gonna continue on and be this powerful, awesome shield maiden, but they just decided to sacrifice her so they can say, oh, she was one of the greatest ever. Yeah, of course she was, but there were so many ridiculous forced stuff around that, like this line, if I didn't worship you before, I sure worship you now. Yeah, okay, but you sounded so like out there. It was absolutely cringy. Yeah, you can say that. Anyway, so about Lagarta, I cried enough about that. Well, at least they gave her a whole episode, at least that. But I just felt that they kill her off so they can do that, so I felt cheated out. And especially the fact that because Fitzek was so terrible character and so useless, so like the weakest out of all brothers, weakest physically, mentally, in terms of abilities. He is such a low life. I just hate his guts now, especially now. And they just decide to give him this honor to kill Lagarta, especially in this crazy situation that he was in this crazy state that he was in. And then they said, but in a metaphorical sense, Ivar also killed Lagarta because of Hvitserk's obsession with Ivar. So what to tell you guys, I do feel that this is not genuine. It is presented to be like a good writing kind of a style, but in fact I feel like it's not. I mean, my gut is telling me that I'm cheated in some kind of a way, that I've been manipulated into thinking that this is very, very smart, but I don't think it is, because basically Michael Hirsch just gave, Hvitserk some kind of a purpose, because he knew that he's totally waste of space in the show. So let us give him something to feel very, very strong and something that's meaningful. Every brother did something great in a way, did something that he's going to be remembered by. They all accomplished something, but not Hvitserk. So why not give him the huge honor of killing Lagarta, like for no reason? And again, all this prophecy that she's gonna be killed by a son of Ragnar. I feel like this is this is something that Michael Hurst pulled out of his ass, pardon my language, because he didn't know where to go, and he was like, okay, we're going to do that prophecy, and eventually I'm going to get to that or not get to it. I will see like how it goes, and he decided to do this. I don't know, but it just feels not okay. It feels not just because I love Lagarta as a character, but it just does feel like a cheap writing, not a good way to do things. I mean, a lot of times when you watch a show and you witness the progression of a particular story, and you see how a character ends, if they die, if it's justified, you just know that it is, so you just accept it, and you don't feel so rebellious about it. But this is one of those cases where I just feel unsettling inside, as like, this is so fishy. I just don't buy it at all. Okay, so enough about Lagarta. This is just how I feel about it. And then there's Bjorn. Now Bjorn just freaking died. And the way that they show it on the promo, it seems like he's also alive, which could be a total lie. They could just misleading us. Maybe they're just trying to confuse us. Maybe that is King Harold, because he also was almost dead on the beach, but we saw that Bjorn basically, did die. Although the whole thing with Ivar, how that even happened, I mean, it's one thing to make a sequence to be like a dreamy, not sure of what's happening. Like, again, metaphorically, they're having a conversation, Ivar and Bjorn. Okay, it's metaphorical. It's what they probably would said, but they actually never did say it. And in the end, you see Ivar that can barely walk. How can he even get through the crowd of people, all the people that are fighting on the Vikings? He's gonna be attacked so many times even before he gets on the shore. Let alone get to Bjorn. Let alone be quick enough to surprise him and actually stab him with the sword. That's just ridiculous. So this is complete cheat, so to speak. Again, I feel this is very bad writing, and the fact that Michael Hirsch tried to confuse us with all of those scenes and then ended up killing Bjorn in the process doesn't mean that that's good. That actually the exact opposite. It means that it's terrible. So the whole thing, it was interesting to watch, it was thrilling, but once again I feel like I'm being fooled all the time, and I just don't like how the show is presented and written, and how all the characters just die out of nowhere. So it's like he decides to do something completely different from every other show, because every other show already did a lot of methods and ways of writing and showing stuff. So he was like, I'm going to do something completely crazy and all going to be perfect. But no, if it's crazy and it's not like backed up by any kind of a logic, it's just no good. It does not have a leg to stand on. So this season, It's not, I mean, again, Vikings has always been a show where you're not always really sure where's the fantasy ending, where's the reality starting. I mean, we had characters that dreamed about stuff that happened. Of course, that is happening in real life. I mean, how many people, including myself, I as well had dreams that happened. I had, you can say, like, dreams that literally showed me stuff that happened the next day. I mean, a lot of people sometimes have such dreams and feelings. You just know that something's gonna happen. That's not fantasy, that's just real life. But the stuff where you see a man that's basically the raven sent from Olden, where you see the seer and you know that he's dead, but characters are talking to him. So you just don't know what is real, what is not. In a sense, it is happening. In a sense, it's all open to interpretation if you're a regular viewer. This is how you probably should perceive it. But for me, even though I know that it's happening, still there's a line between the scene where Ube talks with the seer and the scene where Bjorn gets killed by Ivar out of nowhere. I mean, those are totally different things. I just don't buy the fact that Ivar could do that in that way out of nowhere. And in the same time, I do buy that Ube can talk with the seer in particular spiritual circumstances, let's say. I just went on a rant, I know. I'm excited for like part B, the things with Katya and how she looks like Ivar's wife, but in the same time, Witzer doesn't see her that way. That's confusing as well. I do feel that some questions we will never get the answers to, so that sucks. I do feel that all of a sudden we're going to see Alfred in part B. And really what bothers me at the moment is, what is the point of freaking Bjorn? If Bjorn actually was a complete disappointment at the end, he was the first son of Ragnar, so if he turns out to be a complete disappointment, that's gonna be terrible. Because he's the most important son of Ragnar. He's the freaking first. He's the one that we've seen from the first seasons of the show. Basically Alexander Woodwick grew up in front of us with this role. And now to see him be a complete disappointment of a son, to screw up so bad that Larta got killed because of his actions and stupid decisions. Now Fitzek is on the loose, probably gonna make a ton of damage, siding with Ivar once again. I mean, he suffered because of Ivar, but now he's like, oh, buddy with him? Like, what the hell? Like, his whole suffering, he almost killed himself. He probably took like 20 years off his life with his addiction and obsession over Ivar, but now he's again his brother. And Ivar is this very, very humbled, like he talks so humbly, like he's the youngest of all sons, I think, but he's talking with such a wisdom, kind of humble, tone to his voice, like he knows everything. He says to Bjorn in their metaphorical conversation, like, the gods, they abandoned you long ago, dear brother. Like, what? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't really get it. This is out of nowhere once again. I mean, how are you supposed to connect all of the stuff? Michael Hirst literally throws stuff at the wall, tries to see what sticks. Like, I don't see the connection between all of those things. How Ivar became all of a sudden this humble person. Like, okay, he's basically oppressed by Oleg and he tries to get back on the horse, dominate once again, then he will try to kill Oleg. Okay, but why would he talk like this? Why he's gonna be so assured of himself? Yeah, he has a big army, but not his army, but Oleg's army, okay, but still, to talk to Bjorn like this, and Bjorn to be like a complete failure and just die? I mean, yeah, Bjorn has done a lot of great things. He's Bjorn Ironside, but as a king, he's like a complete, dog. What? He took another wife that was ridiculous as well. Like, what is the reason in terms of scenario, in terms of narrative, in terms of storytelling to take another wife? Like, what's the point? Like, he can't keep his part to himself and just one woman that is more that is like two women basically. I mean, Greg Hilt, I don't like her very much. She's like too butch-like and manly to my taste, but at least she's a smart and intelligent woman, you know. And she's the perfect partner for him because she has so much wisdom to give him and to help him and to support him as king. She has so much understanding within her. She's not like Ragnar's other wife. She's not like Aslog. So I don't know why the heck Bjorn would be in love with some just absolutely regular girl that just is coming on to him, and because she's coming on to him, he's automatically in love with her all of a sudden. Like, what the heck? This doesn't make any sense. It happens so fast. It was so stupid. And he's like, well, my mother never agreed to that. And so he's like, oh, also, my mother never agreed to this because it was basically, you know, she took it as an insult and disrespect. But because Greg Hills was like, I don't care, but inside she's still suffering. And she's crying gold tears, like in the story that she told, which again doesn't make any sense. That's one of the most obvious things, examples of reality versus what is really happening. Like, is this really happening? Probably not. I'm not sure. This is so convoluted and so crazy. Sometimes I feel like Michael Hurst is writing with his butt cheeks. I mean, when I was growing up, I was so good at literature to analyze what the author tried to say. So many books that we studied, stories, poems, and so on. I was always the best in the class in terms of dissecting what the author tried to say. So that was never, you know, my problem to get inside of things, to, you know, see through the layers of, you know, whatever layers they were, and to really feel and literally see through what the author tried to say and connect with that. But in terms of what I see now in Vikings, I just don't see the sense of it. I just feel like he had so many ideas and he wrote them all on the screen and they don't have to connect or make any sense. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they're completely like nonsense. I feel like it's nonsense, like literally. So yeah, I don't know why they would build up Bjorn to be such a badass. Like here in this picture, standing like, you know, Ragnar stood just a few seasons ago. The same type of a picture on the mountain, just looking badass. He's such a smart guy, you know. He's such a good fighter. He has perfect examples in his life of Lagarthe's smarts and strategies and wisdom, and Ragnar's strategy, smarts, and wisdom. He has the best examples ever, and he still does one of the most stupidest mistakes ever made in like a few months' time, basically, that got his mother killed, his brother once again turning against him and giving him all the leverage in the world to defeat him. Just ridiculous. And so many people died. His son died because he let those people go. His mother killed like a dog because he let these people go. I mean, if those people were killed, all of that attacks would never have happened. Lagertha would never be that hurt. Never. So she would not die and she would not go to Vixer to kill her. She basically, she served herself on a silver platter to be killed. It's so ridiculous. So yeah. And about, you know, that Prince Oleg, how twisted and disgusting he is. Yeah, he's a complete pig. How he would have known that Katya looks like Ivor's previous wife. I mean, maybe she told him because, you know, Ivor told her, or he did not told her. He said something, but I don't remember what it was. I mean, there's so many things that like out of nowhere just happen. I don't know, guys. I do think that Michael Hirsch dropped the ball overall. Whatever is happening, like with Floki, we will probably never know what happened to Floki. I don't know if we ever will. What is the plan for, you know, for Ube? He's gonna discover North America. That's good and all. The character that Edge plays, you know, Edge from WWE. He's just amazing, that guy. I mean, Edge is an actor. I'm so impressed with him. He has this crazy name. I can never remember it, but He is so amazing. But again, I don't get his character because he was vengeful, murderous, big, and now he tries to be a friend of Ube to protect Bjorn, but then he wants to kill Bjorn. He almost says it. He actually said it, yeah. That Bjorn has to die someday or something like that. Then he is the same way with Ube because he probably wants to be king of Iceland. It's convoluted, guys. It really is. I mean, I would get that, but that whole Iceland thing, since it started, it was the most stupidest, boring story ever. And they just didn't develop it well. Those Vikings just feel so for no reason there, and I know that, according to history, yeah, okay, they should be there, but the way that it was presented, I like nobody cares. They just want to be focused on the main characters. Like, who cares about those guys? Basically, Vikings still an interesting show, but it has so many confusing stuff about it. It has so many plot holes that I'm not sure they're gonna explain them. Around Ivar, around Bjorn, Harold, and what is that stupid thing that happened? I almost forgot about that. So yeah, Bjorn's second wife got raped out of nowhere because Harold has so many insecurities and complexes, and he envies Bjorn for what? Because Bjorn has two wives. I'm sure that there's a lot of Viking women around. He just has to go and date someone. Search. He's not searching at all. He just drinks on his throne and eats. It's all that he does since he became king of Norway. So he's such a pathetic idiot. I don't know why. At the beginning I felt for him. I was like, well, yeah, Bjorn should go and save him, maybe. I mean, it's the honorable thing to do, but then because Bjorn is not ready to be a king, he got into this whole situation and he lost the election after that. So Harold is like ungrateful, selfish, and he still wants to kill Bjorn. And the whole thing, how Bjorn got attacked, if I wasn't paying any kind of attention, I mean, if I lost like 10 seconds probably of that part of the episode where Bjorn was attacked, I would be like, how is Bjorn attacked? Why is Bjorn attacked? Because there was never explanation of how and why, the motivation behind Harold doing this, how he's not grateful to Bjorn. They never explored any of that. He all of a sudden Bjorn is attacked to be killed. That's how we saw it. So again, ridiculous, bad writing to me, and it's made in the way that you have to explain yourself everything, by yourself. A lot of TV shows still don't have to explain you everything, but show you things the way that they perfectly connect. So all you have to do is just think for 2 seconds and realize amazing things. That's how Xena was made. Before, perfectly laid out story, greatly told, had emotion, had amazing acting, lines, yeah, budget. It was all older times. That's like has nothing to do with the quality of the storytelling. But this time it just here's the story, like mishmash, pooh, here you go, and you're just like supposed to take it. It's one of the shows that I most enjoy, but yeah, it's not good. It's not that good. I mean, not like before. Before was also disturbing, confusing, and not logical so many times, but now it's just annoying to this point because we are losing characters that are most important and they're the best characters, and their end, I don't feel it's satisfying, especially if Bjorn is really dead. I'm gonna be extremely disappointed and like scream to the sun, metaphorically. Like, why did you ruin Bjorn? Why did you make him like a complete idiot? Like, why is he the one to be sacrificed on the altar of dumb writing? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, why? Like, what is the point? Is that a meaningful ending to a character for you, Michael Hurst? I don't know. Anyway, guys, so that is my rant about and review of the last 10 episodes. I think 10 episodes of Vikings part 1, part A from this last season, and let's see what the next part is gonna offer. I can't wait for it, but I can't wait for it because I just want to be sure and just to know for sure, I mean, what happened to Bjorn. That's most of it. But after he's dead, like, who cares what's gonna happen? Lagarta's dead, he's dead, the original characters are dead, like, who cares anymore, you know? But anyway, I'm gonna see it. This is one of the last shows, longer running shows that I have left, so yeah. I hope it's not that bad as Game of Thrones. I mean, I hope that does not end as bad as Game of Thrones, but we'll see. But that is my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think of it, of course, guys. Write your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching, and check the links, Instagram and all of those stuff. If you'd like to support me, click the bell button to be notified when I upload, because as I know, YouTube's gonna notify you like 3 days later. So please click the bell button. And yeah, till next time with me, Gary G Reviews, guys. Bye bye.